I'm Ben Reinhardt. I'm originally from Indiana, and I went to Heron School of Art in Indianapolis, and then went to graduate school at LSU in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Made my way to New York and lived there for about 8 years before coming to Wisconsin, where I currently am the Associate Professor of Painting and Printmaking at Lawrence University.
I'm Beryl Lutsky. I did my undergraduate work at the University of Wisconsin in Madison, then moved to Israel for 10 years, where I lived on a kibbutz and I worked as an artist, among other things, and eventually became part of the faculty of the Avni Institute of Art, then came back here to do my MFA at University of Wisconsin Milwaukee, and I've taught at Milwaukee Institute of Art and Design and a number of the UW colleges campuses, including this one, where I am now Associate Professor of Art at the University of Wisconsin Manitowoc. Well, this sort of event, this happening that's gone on this week, is called Really Big Prints, and it's an idea I kind of came up with as part of a possibility that I suggested to the RAR West Museum. I've worked with them in the past, doing exhibitions, and because of their connection to the city, I hope to sort of be able to leverage that into the possibility of a steamroller. And it's kind of like all the elements kind of came together. We had a venue, which in this case is a parking lot, that we could use, and the other facilities that the campus is able to provide us, and a steamroller. And the problem became one of, first of all, realizing this is a lot of work and I needed some help with this, so I called Ben and suggested that this might be something we'd like to do together, and he said, yeah.
I did, yeah. I was like, it sounded, the idea behind it was really intriguing, and any chance to engage the printmaking community is always a positive one. I think we're both avid goers of the or attendees to Southern Graphics and also Mid-America Print Council.
Right.
They gave us a chance to kind of toss some ideas around and figure out, can this actually work? And since Beryl was kind enough, and UW Manitowoc, to host this, he did a lot of the legwork in trying to build those relationships and figuring out a lot of the logistical ideas behind to make this week possible. And I think we made a good team trying to get all of these little bits and pieces together, and it does take a village.
Yeah, there's just, there's a lot of things to organize, a lot of things to sort of think about, but also just a publicity. We used a lot of social media to try to get the word out about this and encourage people to commit to come, because it is a commitment. It's a commitment to make a really big block and to get here, and to figure out how you're going to do it and how you're going to be able to, where you're going to be coming from and how you're going to be getting your block here. Mm-hmm. So it's not something that people say, oh, I can do this, and then decide 3 weeks later that, oh, maybe not. It's hard to find sort of committed people, but the nice thing about the printmaking community, I guess you could say, is that they are hooked up pretty well in the social media and a lot of word of mouth, and we were able to attract a really nice mix. I think also we have a among the people who are coming, we have both experienced artists and emerging artists and graduate students or recently graduated students. So there's a really nice mix going on here, and a really nice opportunity for people at the beginning of their careers to really kind of be able to kind of get out there with a big print, which is nice.
Yeah, typically, most artists don't work in this scale, myself included. And I think initially, Beryl and I were going to make it work, kind of come hell or high water, trying to figure out how we do that with the imagery that we normally create. And that's been that's a challenge for everyone, but also being into a new environment where you are asked to create imagery, there's always sort of a learning curve in trying to get accustomed to a new shop and a new set of materials perhaps than you're accustomed to. But the beauty of it is that we all inherently collaborate with one another. And this whole week has been nothing but giving and friendship and camaraderie, which I think is just kind of contagious.
Yeah, it's kind of fun because some of these people are my friends, some of them are his friends, and actually now we're everybody's friend,
Right.
which is a lot of fun. The other thing that's just, I think it's something that we counted on, is that printmakers by necessity tend to be collaborative. This isn't something you sort of sit alone and do by yourself. Even when you're printing small, it's often good to have at least a pair of clean hands around, if not, another pair of hands. And it's traditionally been actually a collaborative type of situation. The print studio is usually, a place with lots of people in it, or at least, you don't do this by yourself. And so by nature, printmakers tend to be collaborative. They also tend to be problem solvers, which was kind of thing, because at one point, it's sort of, you're thinking about something like this, and you're thinking that you have to kind of micromanage everything, and I realized, well, there's a lot of things we'll just see how it works. And if it's a problem, we'll solve it at the time, because that's also what we do. You make plans, you have sort of a framework for what you're doing, and it's true for the artwork you're making, and it's also true for an event like this, I guess, is that you make plans, you have a framework, and then you adapt.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think, we went into this not thinking that we would be printing the images for the artists, and they knew that coming into it as well. But it's been interesting to see how the artists that come in will actually bring someone to assist them. So we probably had, by the end of today, or this week, probably about 100 or more people that have come to help and work.
I was guessing around 150 or so.
Well, it's probably true.
Yeah, probably about 150 people through here, maybe a bit more. Everyone sort of comes with an extra pair of hands. Plus, we've had really some nice community buy-in.
It's so nice for everybody to come out.
People coming down every day to help out. Sometimes people just come by to watch, and all of a sudden they say, "You got clean hands?
Right.
Hold this."
Right.
They say, "What? Why? Yeah, just hold this."
Yeah. And I throughout this week, it's just been absolutely wonderful. And like Beryl mentioned, I think I've made a lot of new friends and connections and people that I genuinely hope to see in the future.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And we've been asked many times about whether or not we're going to do this again. And I think we'll give ourselves a couple of weeks to figure that one out.
Right.
Decompress a little bit.
Decompress a little. This has been, and we also have some more work to do. We have the exhibition stuff to get together. And we're going to leave all this piled up and probably get together sometime next week and unpile it. And
a lot of vetting. And
a lot of vetting and sorting and working with these sorts of things. And we have, the other nice thing is that each artist has donated a print to sort of really big prints, which is going to be the ongoing part of this. And that's also what kind of makes us a little different than some of the other big print operations, because other people do this. But there is an exhibition afterwards, and one that will travel as well. It's not going to just be up and down. It'll be, we have some nice interest already in it going other places. So it's going to kind of stay alive. Whether we actually do this again or not, this one will stay alive for a while, and it'll be kind of fun, to kind of see that part of it. Plus, we have most of the artists have donated a second print that we're going to sort of offer for adoption, I guess we could call it.
That's a good way of
Yeah,
about it.
we'll offer for adoption for basically what we're calling a sponsorship fee in order to help offset some of our costs for doing this.
I'm Lena Ellis Boatman. I'm from Michigan State University in East Lansing, Michigan.
My name is Emily Sullivan-Smith. I'm from Akron, Ohio.
And my name's Veronica Cecchi, and I am from Austin, Texas.
I heard about this fabulous, really big Prince event because I went to a printmaking conference in
I
March.
heard about this project at Kent State University from a graduate student who's now graduated, Veronica Cecchi.
I'm Lori Talbot Hall, and I've recently moved to Two Rivers, Wisconsin from New York City. I heard of the really big print project through the Wisconsin Visual Artists Organization, and it was so intriguing that I couldn't resist participating.
Each artist was asked to produce a large print, and we sort of went from the size of the width of the steamroll itself, which the widest roller was 36 inches, so we went 36, and we were sort of thinking about the other parts, so we went 36 wide by 60. That partially had to do, I don't know, that's kind of arbitrary, I think. We were thinking, that's about.
Well, we thought, steamrollers are big.
Right, steamrollers are big. You might as well take advantage of the length of it. We both did a little research on this. We'd seen sort of how this was done in other places, and it's the sort of standard operating procedure was to have some kind of a jig made from a larger piece of plywood. So we wanted to be smaller than the full sheet, and the jig basically is, you cut a hole in a piece of plywood that's pretty much the size of what the block's going to be, and that holds it in place when we roll over. The other thing that we need on top of there is cushioning, and again, what most people have been using has been carpet pad. So we have carpet pad, and it was kind of, I got the thicker carpet pad with the smoother texture to it, because you could buy in with the expensive stuff. So basically, that was when we started. We started on Monday, July 21st. We sort of had the basics out there, and then we had to kind of, let's see how this works, and then we did.
Yeah, it went all the way through the week to July 25th.
Right. And we found out some interesting things. Again, things you couldn't necessarily plan for. Not all stock that is advertised at 3/4 of an inch is 3/4 of an inch.
It's not so standard.
Right. Yeah. It's a flexible standard. So we would have to do a little shimming, shimming up and shimming on the sides, and
Also using supports to kind of elevate the block as necessary for that individual's print.
Right. So we had to kind of do some customized work for the printing. The other thing that we had to kind of work with people a little bit is that because of the size of the print of the block that you're doing, again, most people aren't used to working that big, and you have to ink a little differently. You have to actually make your ink longer, which means you put more oil in it, basically, so it stretches further, because you have to make it roll further, basically.
Adding a little bit of cobalt dryer to most inks have dryer in them, but we wanted to add a little bit more in to expedite the process, so the artist could actually handle the prints and be able to transport them back home. Many of the artists came for a single day. Others did stay for all week long and are going to be participating in a workshop at Hamilton Woodtype Museum on Saturday. But it's just trying to think in considering like their travel and the safety of the imagery and also space for us, because as the prints were being produced each day, we had a drawing rack set up, which is very, very large, filling the gallery space.
Right.
And a wonderful crew to actually transport the completed prints. So, Beryl kind of explained the jig process, but once you've actually inked up the block or matrix that you're using, the paper was very carefully laid down on top of the image, the blankets on top, and we would steamroll it, usually a couple passes, just to ensure that the pressure had been applied over the entire image. And then we had several people shuttling the prints into the gallery space. But at the beginning of each day, we had a crew that actually had to empty up that space, and the artist would then take their prints, tear them down if need be, if they had extra edges, and sign the prints to get it ready for exhibition.
Or taking home.
Or taking home, that's
Taking
true,
home.
yes.
Yeah, one of the two. And The other thing that we asked artists to do, we did provide some paper for people. We did provide ink, and we were generously, a generous donation from the Graphic Chemical and Ink Company of a lot of ink, really a lot of ink, and they donated some paper and reduced the cost for us for some other paper. Plus Ben had some paper and I had some paper, so we kind of had paper here for people to use. We got asked people to bring along some of their own if they could. Some people brought their own inks. Some people brought their own rollers, but we had our rollers and equipment here, which was working kind of nicely. One of the other things that we sort of thought about it going in, but really didn't think it was that big a factor. But some people who had done this in other venues mentioned that they really enjoyed this one, just because usually you might have 50 people coming to print, but everyone tries to print on the same day, and it gets...
Well, there's no chance to really visit with the work and make, decisions or changes, alterations to put your best foot forward. I agreed. I mean, most of them had a good solid day to themselves to actually figure all that stuff out.
Yeah, and to relax a little bit, talk to other people. One of the printmakers that came up was Dara Larson. She runs Redline Studios in Milwaukee. They did something like this as a fundraiser, and she said, "It was crazy. I never want to do it again." Yeah. And this was so nice. I got to she was very efficient. She came up with 2 assistants, and they actually got their prints done. They were I mean, she knew what she was doing, but even then she was able to relax and pay attention to what was happening, and got some really nice images. And she said, "Wow, this is great." I said, "Okay, that's encouraging."
Yeah. Well, we had a crew come from Missouri, Cape Girardeau area, and there's a professor and 2 students, and they knew that they weren't going to be able to get all of the block carved, but they were here for the entire week. And they had a chance to really get it to a state of completion, but they also had the benefit of meeting all the artists as they came in, learning tricks along the way. And when it came to printing the other day, they were a little nervous about how is this going to go, because you spend so much time carving on that block. And I had a "I told you so" moment, and it went beautifully, and I think that experience of being here throughout the week really, really helped them with the printing.
Oh my God, that is unreal.
Yay! You can clap on that one.
Yay, pistons! Hang on, guys, somewhere like that.
Watching it all week. That's
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it works. I mean, we kind of knew how to do this anyway, but but it was really.
But you never truly know until you actually
do
it.
actually get it going,
Yeah.
right? And it's a fun sort of thing. And like I hadn't done a large block like this for a long time, probably about 25 years. So the last time I printed something this big, I was working in a print shop, and I was part of editioning a large print like this. We did it by hand, but you still have to ink and work, and so it's been a while. I mean, I know how to do it, but I hadn't done it. So you sort of have the knowledge, but.
And I've never worked this large.
You never worked this
Not for
large.
my own personal work, no.
Yeah, I don't usually work this big for my prints.
Well, and we had some really interesting approaches to the process as well. Primarily relief and thinking about using birch plywood, MDF board.
Right.
But we did have one artist creating monoprints, and in a very gestural, abstract manner, which worked out really well. And another artist brought in tiled pieces she switched out, and some were more aggressive, and they did multiple color applications, which is fantastic, and definitely changes the surface.
And today we're having someone bringing a colograph.
Yeah, that's true, yes.
Which we'll see if it works.
Yes. Cross our fingers on
We're
that.
gonna really hope it works for her.
Yeah.
And we'll try to make it work for her, but it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting. So yeah, we're excited.
It's been nice to see how supportive the entire community has been throughout the week. Just in terms of how this was put together, how it was organized, the friendships that were made, and And it's nice to be appreciated. Sometimes you don't know how those events are going to go
Right.
over, and so to have that kind of feedback early on has been very encouraging.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we've kind of imposed upon the campus
Yes.
a little bit, but it worked out. Just good timing for the campus. There's not a whole lot of other things going on right now, so we weren't worried about a busy parking lot. And the maintenance staff here has just been fabulous. Very cooperative, very helpful. Same thing with the office people. I mean, all of the support possibilities we're working really, really well.
Not to mention the volunteers.
And the volunteers.
Some have been here every single
Right.
day and spending a good chunk of the day helping with anything that they can.
Right.
And enormously generous with their time.
Right. Yeah. It's been really nice. It's been really great to have all that. And we have nothing but wonderful. Thank you.
Yes, this is
To
definitely been a
everybody.
positive week.
Yeah.
My name's Tiffany, and I go to UW Manitowoc. I'm a local artist here, and I'm going for graphic design. And what I'm trying to get out of this is some more experience and a learning opportunity.
My name is Annika Mandeltort, and I go to Lawrence University. I'm originally from outside of Chicago, and I have an anthropology major and anthropology studio art minor. There we go. And I'm here just to help out. We're the Clean Hands crew, and just whenever any artist needs help, we're here.
Hi, I'm Jeannie Castro. I do monotype prints. I'm here from Hudson, Wisconsin.
Hi, my name is Chris Stile, and I'm a professor at UW Green Bay. And I heard about the really big prints from Barrow because we're UW system faculty, and I thought it was a great idea. I usually do woodcuts, but I've never done one this big.
Hi, I'm Kristen Powers-Nowlin, here from Cape Girardeau, Missouri. I teach at Southeast Missouri State University, and I brought two students with me, Candace Corrigan and Catherine Miller. And we heard about the Steamroller print event through an email, and I thought it sounded interesting, and I can't print a block this size at my home institution, and so we thought we'd come up and each of us carve a block.
My name is Isai Medina. I'm originally from Sheboygan, going to UW Oshkosh.
I'm Gail Pansky. I'm a professor at UW Oshkosh.
I'm Seb Droz, originally from Racine, Wisconsin, also going to Oshkosh.
I'm Valeria. I'm from Oshkosh and also attending UW Oshkosh.
I committed really early and got 3 of my students to come along and help me print this big thing. So we're really excited to be here, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Big prints early in the morning. And
I think everybody's process has been different, as they continue to work through the week. But I would say it was enormously fluid, and the artists that had come in, many of them came in early, and although they didn't have to, they chose to help other artists out. And partially, I'm sure, for selfish reasons and thinking about how am I actually going to do this tomorrow when I'm asked to print. But they just really were engaged, and we were all having lunch together at different times, and just being curious about one another's process. And I think that's a really special aspect of not being an artist, but also a printmaker. I mean, I think we are a very, very tight-knit community, and we love to share. We like to problem solve, and all those things just, I think, further communication and an interest and passion for our field of printmaking.
Yeah, I mean, I think we kind of depended upon that happening, actually, also. We can't, say it will happen, but again, because of the collaborative nature of what we do in the first place, and, it came out really well. And that, I think, people rose, either they rose to the occasion, or this is sort of naturally how they are anyway. Yeah, it was really, there was always extra pair of hands to help, always people also interested in what you're doing, and and willing to talk about the work, talk about how you're doing, to share what you're doing with someone else, to share your experience, to talk about how you got to printmaking. Again, some of these people Ben knew, some of them I knew, and we got to hear each other's stories, and that helps. It just kind of, again, it kind of builds this at least temporary community for the week. But I guess this is gonna, there's people I'm still going to be talking to that I hadn't known before, and that's going to be really nice. The other nice thing is that and the power of it is actually pretty nice, but the whole social media aspect of this is working really well too.
Oh, definitely. Everybody came together, and Hamilton spread it to their fan base, and that's been wonderful. Because, the thing is, we're asking these artists to come in and do something they haven't done, and they have to be able, myself included, have to be able to embrace the unknown, because you don't know exactly how this is going to go. And no one got completely flustered over this. They knew that they had adequate support, whether it was Beryl or I, or fellow artists that were working, because we had about 10 people in a row constantly working throughout the week. And I said, be brave, and when I was checking people in, be brave and ask questions or ask for help. And everybody took advantage of that, and I'm hoping that everyone left here feeling good about what they produced. And maybe they had to embrace a more experimental approach to it, but there's a benefit from that as well.
Yeah, right. That's also what we call. Sometimes we call them happy accidents. Yes. Sometimes, it's basically the process results in something that wasn't exactly as you planned it, but then you realize, oh, well, that works too. And this is how we got here, and then you have that reinforcement of the community saying, well, yeah, that's really nice.
And really? Okay.
Yeah. I was, okay.
If you like it, I must like it.
If you like it, it must be good. No, but I mean, you get some of that affirmation right away, which sort of helps you kind of work with, well, this is what we have, right? And we don't have time to go carve a new block. We're not going to. But you know what? It's actually good. Not just good enough, but it's good. And you say, well, yeah, it's good. Because again, sometimes we tend to beat ourselves up a bit also. But we get real involved in what it is and have in our particular vision of it, and realize that we need that flexibility. I think the community kind of helps that. It's not art by committee, but it's art by affirmation, I think you could say, which I think is a good thing.
Definitely.
My name is Alex Brudecki.
William Lister.
Rachel Griffin. Tony Wildman.
Aaron David.
Alexandra Forbes. Maggie Denman.
Brian King.
Charles Sock.
So yeah, we hail from Madison. We found out about the project through our Professor John Hitchcock and our involvement in Fresh Hot Press. We were really excited to not only be working big, but also to be working outside of our own studios and stuff like that. So feel really grateful that we all got a chance to be here and make some really, really cool work.
We've been road tripping. Then a steamroller ran over something that I spent a lot of time working on. Would have made it better.
Food Montauk had to offer.
Yeah. We went to Manzetti.
Moretti's.
It was like right around the corner.
It's a good time.
Went to Capone's last night as well. Saw all the great places here in Manitowoc.
Made great art.
Yeah, made a lot of great art. So
met
a
lot of good people. We really appreciate you guys having us up.
Namely
Beryl and Ben.
That's right.
Follow back then.
Yeah, thank you.
Still don't quite understand how that's taken.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, big things to it, really big. Should we all go together? Last time I tried to do the 1, 2, 3. Get ready? 1, 2, 3.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right.
Ink and paper.
Oh man, that was brutal.
That was awesome. That was probably
You got it all.
the best.
We
Is that good?
Thank you.
Good, Dallas?